you check the children? You're a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes. That is what I...
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the screening, the advanced screening of Dylan's New Nightmare. That's pretty cool, I gotta say. So thank you guys very much for attending. Thank you very much to Mad Monster for making this happen. This whole project was, yes, Mad Monster for sure. Shout out to Mad Monster. This whole project was born and bred of Mad Monster, so it's only appropriate that we debut it at Mad Monster. We'll get into a couple finer details, but as any movie should have, we have a preview for you. And what else would be more appropriate than a preview for the upcoming Never Hike Alone 2? So,
hey everybody, how you doing? You guys ready to watch some Freddy tonight? Good. I just want to congratulate Cecil Laird for sticking through in this project. Obviously, this has been delayed for a while because of COVID and all these things, but he stuck through. We got through with production last fall. I'm very excited for you to see it, but I'm also very excited to show you the first 5 minutes of Never Hike Alone 2, which will be releasing later this year on Friday the 13th. So I won't take up too much of your time. We got many things to show tonight. So just thank you for coming out. Thank you for supporting independent cinema. Thank you for supporting fan films. Thank you for supporting the horror show and our team. We worked very hard on these projects, and we hope you enjoy them. So without any further ado, Never Hike Alone 2.
Mad Monster, Arizona. You are all my children now.
I think we got the right guy. Thank you very much, Freddy, the entity Freddy, as it were. And thank you very much to Vince DiSanti for introducing his clip. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you enjoy what we have next. I just wanted to ask if anyone is planning to do a review for anything, a website, a podcast, a YouTube channel. Please just keep the spoilers out of it for now because this is not going to be released until towards the end of August. So this is a very month and a half early screening for you guys, and you don't want to ruin other Freddy fans' fun, right? So thank you very much. Appreciate that. Another thing I just want to make you aware of, we're kind of a triumvirate here this weekend. So we're here talking about Dylan's New Nightmare. Vince is here talking about Never Hike Alone 2. And our very own Freddy Krueger, Dave McRae, is talking about It's Me, Billy 2, which just successfully funded. So that is the concluding chapter to his Black Christmas fan film. If you haven't seen the first one, definitely check it out, along with the other Never Hike films. So I'm not going to take up much more of your time here. We're going to talk more after with the whole crew. So just once again, thank you to everyone that came. Thank you again to Mad Monster. And of course, thank you to the cast and crew of Dylan's New Nightmare. All right. It's time. Let's do it. All right. How'd we do? Thank you guys very much. It was really something watching from back there with Miko, no less. It was really entertaining. You guys reacted at, the spots that we wanted you to react, and I hope you enjoyed the story. I hope you enjoyed the filmmaking, and we're gonna get the Q&A set up real quick. So if you guys have questions, get them ready. All right, so let's get this party started. I am Cecil Laird, the writer-director. This is Vince DiSanti, producer and first assistant director. Let's bring out the stars of the show, Miko Hughes. Right over here, yep, right over there. Miko kicked ass, I can tell you that much. None other than Freddy Krueger, Dave McRae. And then, of course, we've got Ron Sloan in the house. And then last up for this Q&A, go ahead and sit there, Ron. We will bring up Nora Hewitt, the special makeup effects guru. I'll just stand. You sure?
Why am I so far away from you?
You're good. Yeah, I think we can move mics over. Yeah,
Testes.
I'm not going to sit. I'm just going to stand. Okay. All right. Can we bring up all the lights, please, so that way I can see people?
No, this is so much more intimate. It's so nice.
Everyone's
in the dark.
I will run out for the questions. But let's wait until the lights are on so you don't see Cecil take a spill. You don't want them all on? I don't know if we can turn on some of them, but...
Well.
Actually, the lighting is probably... I just want
There
to
we
see
go.
people, so.
There's everybody.
All right,
Hey,
there we go.
everybody.
All right, so let's get this party started. Who's got a question? All right, we've got one right here up front. No? Okay. He's just waving his hand. He's saying hello. Who's got a question?
Right over
I see
there.
one right here. All right.
Wow, director and moderator. Hey, everybody give it up for Cecil Laird.
One-stop shop.
Hi, my name's Angela. I have a comment and a question. So my comment is, I like how you guys made a collaboration of Dream Warriors by Dawkins and Nightmare from Tuesday Night, which are from the third and fourth Nightmare on Elm Street movies. So I really like how you guys did that. And then my question is, why is it that the psychiatrist clicks her pen 3 to 4 times?
It's a Cecil.
So yeah, I guess I'll take that one since I wrote it. Basically, it's her. I envisioned it like she was a smoker, and it's her thing, right? It's her safety net. That's why when Freddy's coming after her, she grabs it off the table and starts clicking it because it's what makes her feel safe. What else we got? Oh, just real quick. Running from This Dream Warrior was indeed a mashup of those two songs. Shout out to Mahalo, Michael Onak, and Jaime and Fuego, Nancy and the Nightmares. And we have the singer Bird in the house as well, so all of them kicked ass on that. All right, yes, please.
I have a question for Dave and Miko. What movies got you into horror?
Great question.
Take it, Dave.
I would say that I'm 44, so going back to the early 80s was probably Freddy Krueger, to be honest with you. So it was probably him. Yeah.
Ironic.
What's that?
Ironic.
I know, it's fascinating, isn't it?
I didn't know what a movie was when I did Pet Sematary, so I guess I'll go with Pet Sematary.
I would do it.
Thank you.
That's
I'm
a good
so nervous.
choice.
You guys, this has been freaking me out, this whole thing. Thank you guys for coming. I walked into this room. I didn't expect this many people. I didn't expect this room to be this big. I haven't acted in 20 years. I'm super rusty. Thank you for showing up. That's too much. I just wanted to say thank you. That's all. I'm like 3 drinks, 3 doubles deep to be even here right now, so thank you.
I
That's
echo
all.
Miko's thoughts because it was hard to gauge sort of the buzz.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean?
Wah, wah.
No, but
If
it
you ever
was.
wanted to see
It was
Freddy
hard
make
to
a dad
gauge-
joke.
It was hard to gauge the buzz. So when we walked in here, it was like, oh, Oh, okay.
Oh, people showed up.
Oh,
yeah.
We have
Well,
to do this now.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
So yeah, no, it's awesome to see everybody.
And then as you were watching the movie, the audience reaction was like getting hit by a truck, right?
There you go.
Yeah, right?
Hey, a couple people got it. All right, next
Miko, you got a
question.
question over here. Oh, yeah.
Hi there. What was the most difficult thing you had to deal with during filming?
This moment right now.
I think that's a good answer.
Maybe your tooth.
Oh,
Yeah.
my tooth.
We
That's
almost
a
shut
story?
down like 10 minutes into shooting the first day.
Let me tell.
So I'm gonna comment on this.
Let me give the Cliff Notes version of the tooth story. So it's kind of like the tooth. Oh, thank you. And I'm a voice actor, so you'd think I'd know this.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Okay, so I'm from Toronto, Canada, and I flew into Phoenix, Arizona in November, and to shoot this movie. And
The long version. Okay.
we were, I was in the makeup chair for the first day for about 5 hours, and you guys were shooting some stuff on the soundstage, and then I did have a cast done of my teeth in Toronto, and the intention was to wear, gooey false teeth, but as is the case with false teeth. Sometimes they're only good for close-ups because you can't actually speak with them in. We can't do that, right? So we were getting a close-up, the part where I go, boo. And Nora put them in, and I tightened them, and they're in there, and I felt like a click.
No, we
Or
all
I
heard a
click.
crack.
So
There was
then,
an
Within
audible
10 feet
click.
standing around him.
but what
he bit
happens is
down.
that we shoot the close-up. I'm trying to get them out. I'm like, I can't get them out. And I'm like, oh my God, there's my tooth on the floor. And
I
now
want to
have.
specify that this was a previous Canadian hockey injury.
It was. That's
This
so
is a
stereotypically
childhood
Canadian.
injury.
But it is true, I had a piece reattached about 20 years ago, and that was the piece that fell on the floor. And it was like, I mean, it's not life-threatening, obviously, but you don't expect that. So there's that moment where you're like, oh, really? Like right at the first day, at the beginning of the week. So I said to
Is our shoot done on day one?
I know.
Oh, no.
So I said to everybody, I'm like, listen, just give me 10 minutes. I need to go back and kind of just like, oh, okay, I just lost my tooth. And Miko comes back and is like, dude, I'm really sorry, but it looks fucking awesome. Oh, man, it looks awesome.
He was fully in makeup. So first of all, I have to address the screen seemed very dark from at least the last version I saw. There, you can see a bit more detail. I think this is a 1080 projector as well.
Yeah, a little
the
tad
final
dark.
will be 4K.
Tad dark.
And this was much darker than the last version I saw.
Yeah, it was
And
a little darker than
we
intended
didn't notice
because
the
of the
tooth,
screen.
but in the final, hopefully what you all will be getting on the DVD and Blu-ray is that you can see the tooth.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like a fucking zombie,
It was-
undead.
but-
Like it, and I
It
came
looked
back
awesome,
in the room.
so we went with it.
I saw the look on his face. He was about to walk.
I was not about to walk.
Well, I mean, I would have freaked out too. If my tooth cracked straight down the middle, one of the front two, I would have been like, what the fuck? On
Well, I
this
was for
podunk
like 10
shit.
minutes, and then-
I'm like dealing with this. And I said, bro, this is a gift. Because
It looked great.
as you look right now in this makeup, you look like Freddy fucking Krueger with a gnarly mouth, a broken tooth. You look like you're about to fuck shit up. Use this. Use all that anger to go back out there and shoot the hate that Freddy embodies. And he took the time he needed to come back and do it.
I did
and
that.
thank
I
God. I
walked
felt
out
like that
there
was like a gift.
And I was like, yeah, I did it. Totally, 100%. So that was a bit of a funny story.
So
Yeah, that was the hardest part. We got that out of the
Yeah.
way day one.
Yeah, exactly. I have a question for the audience. Did any of you guys expect little Miko to grow up into the beefcake that he became? All right.
This just reminds me I need to start working out again.
All right, next question. Yes.
So I got a question for Dave. You look amazing.
Thank you.
I thought that you were a perfect Freddy Krueger, but you're not just playing Freddy Krueger. You're playing Freddy Krueger, the entity.
Yes.
So
So
I'm just curious about how you approach that. I mean, how do you
Well,
approach this particular?
Great question. So first of all, I do look great. But
And
that has
modest,
nothing to
too.
do with me. That has everything to do with Nora Hewitt and Mikey Rotella.
100%.
Because
And I will say that my wife helped me apply tonight, so Rachel Gervig also is.
Shout out, Rachel.
oh, right now,
applicable
yes, that's
application.
true.
Yeah.
So my goal approaching this film was, it was a wonderful opportunity to be able to showcase what I could do. And I am very aware, as we all are, no, Robert, I'm not interested, right? Robert Englund is a legend. He will always be Freddy Krueger. He is incredible. We can agree with that, right? Robert Englund is
Here,
Freddy
here.
Krueger, 100%. So my job as an actor going into a role of Freddy Krueger on this level was to not do a Robert Englund impression. Because if I do that, if I get that in my mind, I'm going to be thinking about, is that kind of how, I'm spitting here too, it must be my dry mouth. Is that how he did, I don't know if that's how, I'm not really sure if that's really right, I'm not really sure. My job was not to do a Robert Englund impression. My job was for you guys to watch the movie and go, well, it's not Robert Englund, but it's definitely fucking Freddy Krueger. And that was my goal.
Beautiful. Love it.
That was my goal. And I wanted to showcase, you know, a part of this is like, hey, you know what? Maybe this is a quasi-audition. Who knows, right? And I sit back and I think, you never know who's going to see it. You never know who's watching. You never know who's out there. I wanted to prove to myself and prove to everybody that Robert Englund is a legend. He will always be Freddy Krueger, but there can be somebody else.
Beautiful. Well said. Okay.
Can I put a button on that? When Cecil first approached me about this, my first concern was Robert, because those are very big shoes to fill, and the fact that Dave did it as well as he did was fantastic. That was my first concern, and when I saw what Dave was doing, I was very happy to see that.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
And I'll just jump in from a development standpoint, from the standpoint of that when we talked about this earlier on in the script, to sort of answer your question, is that you understand that this is sort of something that's coming out of Dylan's head. The entity is taking these memories that Dylan's had and recreating them, and that's even why Freddy changes a little bit, because Dylan was watching the earlier movies, and sort of now this entity is feeding off of Dylan's nightmares. And now as Dylan is becoming an adult and dealing with adult stress and adult anxiety, this entity is using that to gain power again, hanging on to that one last kernel of fear from the first film, and now after 20 or so years, now finally having enough power to manifest himself. And that's sort of where we wanted to pick up, and where Cecil was coming with this thing, and one of the reasons why I jumped on, because I thought it was such a brilliant concept. It's, you know, to come through with Dylan, I think it's just as much about Freddy and Dylan and their co-symbiosis in this, and the fact that he's manifesting him, and this is a manifestation of what Dylan fears of what he used to see as Freddy from what his mother went through. So I think that's sort of what we were kind of going with from the development standpoint of it as well.
Yeah,
Indeed.
what he said. That's right.
Yeah.
I have a question for Ron that I'm going to ask in 1 second, but before I do want to shout out just a couple of other people. Courtney Lee Fischel and Revis Dorsey, are you guys still in here? Woo! All right. They played the casting assistants, and I thought they did a great job, so thank you to them. And of course, our nurse on the phone, Sarah Schultz, also in the house. Woo! So thank you very much, Sarah. Great job there. So thank you guys very much. I will get to your question in just a second. First, I wanted to ask Ron, just real quick, Ron, I've normally seen you, I mean, obviously, Friday the 13th, you were not necessarily a nice guy in that film, but, you know, I had not really pictured you as crazy as you ended up getting when we were filming this. So what was it like for you getting into this role and being able to, you know, become Freddy, so to speak?
Well, you know, it was actually really exciting for me, because I have the experience in casting, believe it or not. I spent about 5 years as a casting assistant shooting screen tests. So I kind of utilized a little bit of that in the beginning, nothing more irritating than when an actor auditions and if there's casting people out here, I'm sorry. But, you know, I remember going on an audition and the casting director was eating and on the phone at the same time. And it was like, you know, for me, this was my moment when I was auditioning. So to have somebody just like, come on, will you hurry up, go through it? So that brought that memory back to me, and that's why I brought it to this character. And then, honestly, to tell you, that demonic energy came from just nowhere. It was something, I even caught myself in it going, where the hell is this coming from? It was deep, it was great. And I'm not saying great as an actor, just the energy itself, and even our wonderful cinematographer, Ben Meredith, who I really, he's awesome. FaceTime again.
He was supposed to be here this week, and he wasn't able to make it.
Yeah, he wasn't able to make it.
I'm sure he appreciates that.
Awesome. And Ben and I got to work together on a movie called 13 Fanboy. And so to see him again, it was Old Family Week, and Vince, again, 13 Fanboy, if you guys hadn't seen that, Vince did like beyond amazing job. So it was just that whole energy and being, it was exciting. And it just, the beauty of all this is we plug in. And it's a cosmos. It's something that just grows. And if you can just go along with it, I mean, this man deserves an applause. I was so cool to have me, we did our dialogue together. I had to catch his cadence to do my lines. And it was just this beautiful harmony, and it was a trip. It was just a trip. Look what's become of you.
Oh, they finish each other's sentences.
That was good.
All right, next question.
Oh, yeah. Who was the editor and cinematographer of this?
So yeah, we just mentioned Ben Meredith was the cinematographer. Yep. The editor was Tom Newell, a very talented gentleman out of LA that is currently editing on the brand new season of Chucky. So we definitely got talent involved in the project. So that's really awesome. Okay, yes, man, let me hand it over to you here.
No, great. Love to see all the hands.
Hi, I had a question. I was wondering that when the film comes out in, you said late August, when can we kind of expect to be viewing it?
That's a great question. So you can't see it on my shirt here, but it says The Horror Show. If you go to the Horror Show channel on YouTube, we've had the channel since 2014. We cover all kinds of things, but yeah, that's where the film is going to be airing, along with eventually the behind-the-scenes special. We'll put the score up there, all kinds of fun. Yeah, we got a lot of questions here. Okay, right here.
Need two mics out there.
Hello. Ooh, sorry about that. First of all, I want to say, great job on this film. It's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
From beginning to end, it was just a thrill to watch. And my question, I guess, would be more of a Cecil question. So, at the end, you tease that, you know, Dylan's mom calls him back and everything. And we just get that big to be continued title card. And
yes, we want her. It takes money.
Yep, that was the question. Are you setting
Help
up
us
to possibly
convince her.
having Heather?
Help us.
Being honest.
So yeah, proper credit for this this version of the film. Heather's voice was played by Deandra Laser, who's sitting up there as well. She did an excellent job. She played Nancy in another fan film in 2016. She did a fantastic job, so I asked her to come and lend her vocal talents. We have a month and a half to finish things. And
there's hope.
We haven't turned over every stone yet, so.
She's got to see that this was good enough.
Yeah, basically, that's why we filmed You Fuckers.
So this is for everyone. What's your favorite kill out of the whole series of Nightmare on Elm Street?
Straight to the point.
Should we go down the line?
Yep, go down the line.
Sorry, we have no monitor up here, so it's really echoey. Our favorite of the series?
Favorite of the series, yep.
Nightmare? I'll go with the first one. That's just started everything. Everything grows out of that, so I'll go OG.
I think you said favorite kill.
Oh, kill.
Favorite
Sorry.
kill.
Yeah, it's really echoey. Circle back. Maybe the TV. I don't know.
There you go. That's a good one.
Prime time bitch. Yeah, that's good. My favorite kill is Tina.
There you go.
100%. I think it's one of the best kills in slasher history, period. Because it's not just the kill, it's the dream sequence that leads up to it, the alleyway, the Tina, all that, like just everything is just, it's fantastic.
I gotta stay neutral because I've been on the Jason side for so many years.
Oh, fuck. This is a really loaded question, guys. I can't go with Tina. That's already been
Yes, you can.
taken.
There's always room for more.
My other favorite besides the original, obviously, is I think majority of people Dream Warriors, right? Dream Warriors is fucking great. I love the marionette, style kill. I mean, that's just iconic. So yeah, marionette style Dream Warriors kill for me. Vin?
All right, I'm another Jason fanboy, so you guys are going to hate me for this, but I friggin' love the Power Glove kill. I know you guys all hate Freddy's dead, but fuck it. That shit's hilarious. Makes me laugh every time. So that's me.
Man.
Sorry.
Right on. Well, this gentleman had a question earlier. Do you still got your question? Okay.
My question is for Miko. How did you get involved with Ice Nine Kills, and what was it like to being on the other side of the truck driver?
Oh, that was awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it was actually through my good friend Sean Clark, who was here this weekend. He's friends with Spencer and the team over at Ice Nine, and this was a year or so after the remake, and I kind of had hopes of like doing something similar in the remake, and he put me in touch with Spencer. I learned about the band. I love what they do for the scene, and they are true horror fans. And they told me their idea of what they wanted to do, and as brief as it was, we shot a lot that day. It was an honor to be a part of it. I think that was a cool full circle thing, and I love the song. I think they knocked it out of the park, and yeah, they instant fan and good friend to Spencer and all of them at the Ice Nine team. Yeah.
Hello. So my question is just open for anyone that wants to answer. So my question is portraying the Dreamcatcher scene. So I was just wondering, was that scene supposed to be ironic of how powerful he can be, or the mockery of how he can't be caught?
It's a little from column A, a little from column B.
I was just going to say, I think it's both.
Yeah.
I think it's for as long as the series has been going on. I when we were watching it, I told Cecil, I was like, dude, this has been how many movies and nobody has addressed that yet? Like that was so cool.
That was fun.
Credit to Cecil for that idea.
For me, when I was approaching the scene, I mean, Freddy finds this hilarious. A dream catcher, really? I mean, it's literally, it's just so absurd. I mean, what the heck is this thing going to do, right? So that came out in the performance. So I think it is a little bit of column A and a little, from column B.
It's kind of a fun idea that Dylan hasn't encountered, Freddy since he was a child, but it's like a weird superstition of like, I'm just going to hang some dream catchers up, even if he doesn't, how much does he remember or whatever, it's just a thing. Yeah. But when Freddy does decide to come back, it doesn't matter.
That's it. And I want to know, because we don't see this is off camera, has Dylan actually found the dream catcher on the ground? When he woke up, was he like, what's that doing on the ground?
Perhaps we can address that later. Yeah, the dream catcher was something I was proud of because it hadn't been done in the Nightmare series yet. And the other thing that I was proud of was, I don't know why it's been this long. Freddy's got 4 blades. And you couldn't see it with the darkness as well as I wanted, but when he cuts off the Psych's arm, you see 3 bits of arm sushi drop next to it, and it's pretty fun. It was again a little tough to make out, but it was one of my favorite effects that Nora put together for us. So Shout out for the arm sushi.
Probably see it better on the final. Maybe it was just me. It seemed a little dark on a few things.
Was a little
but
dark.
Yeah, it was darker.
That might have helped us in a few ways too.
Yeah.
But some of
it was
will
a
brighten
lot
that up.
darker than it will be when you guys see it next, for sure.
All right. I got like a three-parter. So, I know. I got to be extra. What do you want from me? So, I had a question for Miko. What it was like kind of returning to horror as an adult versus what it was like as a child actor. And then for Vincent...
Should we do it one at a time so we don't forget?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. I'm pretty buzzed right now. Give me
My bad.
Not just horror or whatever, just acting. I haven't done this in a very long time. So, whatever this is, if this is, whatever this, I was just happy to play again. And it was a role that had something to it, something fun to do. I stopped acting a long time ago. I was going on auditions for things that were obviously not right for me. My heart wasn't in it. I had family drama. And this was cool to be like, oh, this is something that is close to me, that's like something I would want to do. It's well written. There's like meat on the bones to play with. And I was just happy to play again. And that, beyond that, thanks for letting me fool around.
So, okay, Alex seeded the rest of his questions because we want to make sure everyone gets a chance. So, just real quick, how many people here were thinking about or planning to get the photo op? Okay, all right, that's a good amount of people. So, cool. So that means we'll wrap this up in about 10, 15 minutes. If we go a bit into the meet and greet time, just to make sure we get the photos, that might be the case. Go ahead.
I do have two questions. All right. First, whoever can answer it, does Jason exist in this universe?
Hee. Oh, Jesus Christ.
We do have Freddy versus Jason, but this is the movie.
What is the Womp Stomp
I would
universe
say,
we might be creating? Who knows?
I would say that Ghost Jason exists in this reality, if you would put them in the same world. So
Dylan's reality.
In Dylan's reality, there is a Camp Crystal Lake in New Jersey, and our story is going congruently. So this is a world where these things exist. I think if we want to call it the Womp Stomp verse, I guess, in a way.
Who knows the potential?
Totally.
All right,
I think in a way.
There's a lot of potential.
Second question's for Miko. You've done horror, obviously, so Pet Sematary, New Nightmare, and Surf School.
Oh.
Yes, I had to bring it back up. Do you have a favorite of your horror films?
Oh, gosh. Pet Sematary just might be like the standard. I think Wes Craven's New Nightmare was my favorite film to film as a kid because I remember it more. Pet Sematary, I was so young. I don't remember actually being there. I just remember everything about it growing up. But Wes was such an amazing director, and Freddy was like this weird pop culture icon in the 80s and 90s. I feel like there's not an equivalent nowadays where Freddy and Jason had breakfast cereals, and like 8, 9, 10-year-olds were fans of these horror movie icons that they didn't even see the movies. They were R-rated films, but they were like pop culture things. And yeah, art might be kind of getting there, yeah. And at 7, when I auditioned, I was like so stoked because Freddy Krueger is fucking awesome. And audition, I was when I found out I was going to be a part of it, like that. It's any kid's dream. You get to run around, and I didn't die. I get to kill Freddy. Like that's the ultimate. And the filming was such a good experience, and the crew, and I think that'll always kind of be right here, Yeah, and Surf School.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I think we got time for like 3 more, and I see the hands I'm going to go to, so bear with us if we have more time, if these are quick.
That's also how Cecil got me. It's like, got the script idea.
That's it.
This is for Nora.
Hi.
Hi. So, we love you. We were big fans of Face Off.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
And whoever doesn't know, Nora won.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, guys.
So I wanted to ask, first of all, it's 2 quick questions. What was your inspiration behind getting into practical effects?
We'll start there. Okay. No, my mom was really cool, and she had great taste in movies and started me off young with like classics. Like we'd go to the library and rent movies instead of books. So if any of you had a library card and went to the library as kids and rented classic films, that was where I was at. But my mom, totally. American Werewolf in London and like Lost Boys for like my 5th birthday, like on VHS, like that was where it was at. So my mom definitely got me into it.
Awesome. And the next question, how crazy fucking hard was Face Off?
It was actually awesome. I loved it. I had a very positive experience despite like a few obvious anxiety attacks on film, which were unfortunately aired during the season. But other than that, I had a great experience. I can't speak for everybody on Face Off, but my experience is very like pure. Everything you saw was what you got. There was no like bullshit on the side, no like off camera like kind of, like play gating to like, oh, like do this or do that. It was very much just like come as you are. What you see is what you get. So I had a great experience. Yeah. Yeah, thank you guys.
Hi guys. I just want to say, because Wes Craven's New Nightmare is my favorite movie of all time, that you guys knocked this out of the park. I saw an early cut, but that was good, and this was just, I'm shaking with how excited I was over this. I mean, congrats, everybody involved. Everybody, once they see it, once it goes live on YouTube and they get it on DVD and Blu-ray, they're gonna lose their minds. So first of all, congratulations with all of that. Miko, holy crap, your performance in this. I can't believe you said you were rusty.
I'm
no,
rusty.
you're not.
Please.
And then Dave, like I said, mission accomplished. You really, you managed to get that, and I think you proved that, Robert is the GOAT, but other people can definitely play Freddy.
Well, that's what it was all about. I mean, it's not about replacing Robert, it's about honoring Robert.
Right. Yeah. But this is actually probably a question for Cecil, because you had told me, but I think everybody in the audience would be curious to hear this. So Heather is obviously in the psych ward, and she's not responding to the phone call. So what prompts her calling Dylan back at the very end?
That is a very good question. So, Vin kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but in my headcanon, when Freddy explodes at the end of the original New Nightmare, what we don't see is as Dylan and Heather are diving out of the realm, some parts of Freddy's essence fly into both of their heads. And in my mind, the piece inside Dylan was feeding on his nightmares for the last 25, 30 years, getting stronger and stronger to where he can try and come out again. Conversely, with Heather, in my mind, he's fucking with her. And he's in her brain, and so, again, in my headcanon, Heather, so the idea is she leaves the hospital running after Dylan in the original when she's still under suspicion, and then takes a bunch of sleeping pills and goes and gets him back. And so my mind, when they come out and she starts reading the script, there's a bang, bang, bang on the door, and it's the cops asking questions. She's chalked up on, she's done up on sleeping pills, and she's like, Freddy, she blames Freddy. And so they throw her in the asylum, and Freddy starts to work his little magic, and he is in her head whispering all the time and calling her Nancy and like, I'm gonna kill you eventually, Nancy. Little shit like that, whatever's in your minds. And so to me, she has lost herself. She doesn't know if she's Heather or if she's Nancy at any given time. And she's been foggy for so many years now. The reason she finally called at the end is because Freddy was finally strong enough to pull himself out of their heads and into our world for the first time to kill the psych. And that's the first time that Heather's mind has cleared in all these years. And so she made the phone call. So there's more to that story if we get to tell it.
Big question in the back.
Yes. We had one up front here.
You got 2 in the back. You might be able to do. I think you got time. Yeah.
So my question is for Miko. That very last scene with you on the bed looking at your phone, from the second you looked at it and there was the realization of they're calling you back, super emotional. I genuinely almost cried. Was that as hard to pull off as I would imagine it was, especially after 20 years of not doing acting?
I feel like I got lucky. I feel like we had a lot of things in line, and I don't know if it worked. It worked. Thank you. I don't know.
I can actually speak to that because that was something that I presented to him on the first day of shooting. That was the last
He's like,
day
"Can
of
you
shooting.
cry?" I'm like, "Bro."
I was like, now hear me out.
I feel weird being on set again.
I was like, is there a chance that we could, we'll do it all your other ways, but would it be too ham-fisted for you to try and roll a tear? And he's like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. He's like, maybe we can try on the day, but I don't know. And then we were shooting on the day, and he came up to me after a few shots, and he's just like, hey, I think we can try it. He's like, let's roll it. Let's keep it going. I think we can get there. And he did, and it was fucking incredible for us to watch. That and his performance at the beginning when he first sees Freddy, and he starts tearing up because all the trauma rushes back all at once. And man, Miko just absolutely killed this shit. Just absolutely killed it.
He did.
Thank you.
He absolutely did, and I
there's
just
a
want
kid
to
in the
say
back.
that it didn't surprise me because you're incredibly talented. And you were one of those child actors that were believable, and I believed you in every role that you were in. So the fact that you haven't, done it in a while, it's a muscle. And when you start massaging and working that muscle again, like you did on this set, there it is. It comes out. You have the talent never goes away.
Believe. Thank you.
Sincerely, I mean that.
That's very nice. Thank you.
Yes, this young gentleman. We'll go ahead and, what time are we looking at here, guys? We're supposed to get over. Okay, we're 2 minutes late. This will be the last question, then we can all meander over for those photo ops.
I love Freddy's personality because he actually gives the people he's about to kill a conversation. And my question is for Miko. Did the movie give you actual nightmares?
Maybe leading up to tonight, not on set. But no.
Oh, it's coming.
Maybe. I mean, the movie is very meta. This film is very meta. I hope this doesn't turn into a reality show.
All right, you guys. So thank you guys very much for coming to the screening and the Q&A. Thank you to Vince DiSanti, Nora Hewitt, Ron Sloan, Dave McRae, and Miko Hughes.
And if anyone had any more questions, we have our booth set up in the back corner. Come and say hi to us tomorrow. We'll be at the booths all day. Ask the questions there.
We'll
we
be
got
here all
lots of
weekend,
fun
right
stuff.
across from Tom Atkins. So, all right, we'll see you guys in the photo room in just a couple minutes. Thank you.